this is question 14, and this is a question about cakes. So we're told that the cost of a cake is directly proportional to the volume. This means that the cost is equal to k times the volume, where k is some constant. We're also told that the large cake gives 70% profit. Notice that when we talk about 70% profit, it's a bit of an unusual term to talk about percentage of profit. So this is 70% of the cost, and not of the price. We're also told that people would pay £6.80 for a large cake. Now, we want to make smaller cakes, and these are going to have length, width and height, all half of that for the bigger cake. We're going to sell a pack of smaller cakes, 6 for £6.50. We want to know how much profit do we make on a pack of smaller cakes. Now, first of all, we're going to think about this first bullet point. So cost is directly proportional to volume. So the volume, we don't know what the volume is, but we know that the volume of the large cake is linked to the volume of the small cake because we've just halved all the dimensions. So we could call the volume X or V, but we could also just say the volume is 1, because it doesn't matter. As long as we know what they are relative to each other, it's all just going to cancel out in the end. So let's say the volume of the large cake is 1. Then the cost is equal to k times the volume. We've got that here. And so if the volume's 1, the cost is just equal to k. Now let's look at the second bit. So 70% profit for a large cake. What does that mean? Well, it means that the price of the cake, £6.80, is equal to the cost it took to make the cake, and we're also going to have 70% profit on top of that. So it's it covers the cost, and then we get 70% more as well. So the price is equal to, so the price covers the cost, so that's 100% of the cost, and 70% profit as well, so 170%. But this is the same as multiplying by 7 over 10. So we're just going to rearrange now to find the cost it is to make a large cake. So we need to divide by 17 over 10. So we do 6.8, sorry, there shouldn't be a little dot there. 6.8 times 10 over 17, so that becomes 68. 68 divided by 17 is 4, so our cost is £4. And this is going to be our value of k, because we said that cost is equal to k up here, because we've said the volume is 1, so k is equal to £4. Now let's think about the smaller cakes. How does the cost of a smaller cake relate to that of a larger cake? Well, for the smaller cake, the volume is interchanged because we've halved the length, width and height. Now, we know that the volume of this rectangular cake is just the length times the width times the height. So if we've halved all of them, then our volume is changed by a factor of 1/8. So we know that cost is proportional to volume. So for the smaller cake, the cost is equal to k, which is 4, times the volume, which if it's 1 for the large cake up here, it's going to be an 1/8. And so a smaller cake costs 50p. And so if one smaller cake costs 50p, then 6 smaller cakes are going to cost £3. Which means that the amount of profit is just the total price, which is £6.50, minus the amount it costs to make them, so £3.50. So the answer is D.